Hi guys, welcome to my channel. This is Chris at YOKIKNOWDIY. Throughout my channel, if you follow me, you subscribe, you're going to see all kinds of projects getting done, which could be renovation, construction, building cars, fixing accident vehicle. So hold on to this one. So I'm just going to show you, I've emptied this room. I have actually about 20 hours to take the flooring out, take all the casing out, repaint everything, and before paint, you know what's gonna happen. I'm gonna go peek around, little pinholes, nail holes into walls, holding frames and that. Take that out and I'll show you how to get that done fast and in a cheap way. So hold on and watch me go. I'm gonna show you first the floor in here. This is the floor. So every casing is gonna come out. All the switch plates, outlet plates. So just be one thing to do when you start a project like that, then you avoid having to replace them in the end because of damage. So basically, I'm gonna start with that, grab a screwdriver. I'm gonna leave the outlets, just take the plates off. See, if you take them off, it's going to be way easier. You don't need to mask anything. Just whenever you paint, you can go on the side and with the roll up on top, and then you can just put your plate back on. It covers everything, and you won't see a line if the plate ends up moving that you have a different color. Now that all the plates are out, I'm going to go up at the ceiling. I'm going to take the light out. I'm going to put a pigtail, that way I don't have to tape around it. I'll just be able to paint. This is a pigtail, LED bulb on it. So I'm going to install that to the switch light. Then I'm still going to have light in here, but I don't need to mask anything or try to avoid putting paint on the light. So let's get to that. Screwdriver, twist, leave the bulb, flat screwdriver, loosen up both screws. There you go, see? The switch light in here. I'm going to take the light out. I've got 2 morettes already. Just moret the lines on this. And it's fair to get a pair of pliers when you do so, just so you have a good connection and no anarchy. Straighten these out. Not the first time I use them. I do renovation all the time. If you want to subscribe, I'm going to show you how to do all kinds of projects, and I'll be listening also if you want to leave comments or ideas on a project that you plan on doing home. If you need information on how to do it, the tools to use, I can definitely at that point try to find a spot to get your project done. For the electrical part of it, you know, it's not everybody that's comfortable with the electrical. I'm Red Seal licensed electrician, so I got no problem with that. And throughout the years, I've managed to get experience in multiple projects by reading code, especially. So they're always done efficient and as per code. And if there's anything that you see that maybe you're going to say to yourself, he's not doing that right, I'm actually open to listen to that, so I'd have no problem whatsoever. If you want to leave message. Go to my link, leave what you want to, and we'll definitely bring that up to a future video and maybe have a discussion on it. And you never know, probably the next project when you do some work on a car, some mechanic, maybe change engine, I don't know. So now see, you can paint around your light. See that line? Once again, that could show if you feel around it and you feel a gouge. Good idea maybe to go ahead and put a bit of mud, do some sanding. So what I'm gonna do now, I have some putty here, a couple of trowels. And as you can see in the room, I started already when the room was still furnished, just for quick drying part of it. I went and I put like just a little dip coat wherever there was a pink or a scratch on the wall. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna grab that. I'm gonna kind of put a second coat on all those small holes. Some of them will only need one, some will need 2 coats, some will need 3 coats. There's nothing major in this room. But on a future project, I'll show you how to crack fill. I've got some projects coming up that I'll be building new rooms. So framing, electrical, plumbing. So I'll show you how to get all that done, but it's one project at a time. So what I'm gonna do is start crack filling that. Then while it dries, the second coat dries, I'm gonna go ahead, take all the moldings out and take the flooring out. So we'll get to that right now. I'm gonna set you up so you'll see a bit of me getting the work done. Now I'm going to show you a couple spots that I'm going to fix. There's nothing really serious to these. Most of the time what happens with them is when the drywall was put up, maybe the screws were put too deep to hold the drywall, or maybe not enough. So you can see right here, see that little bump? Just kind of scratch the surface of it. See how you can see your screw in there? So I'm just gonna go and fill that up with mud. And now I know there's no catching edge. So there's a couple of them in here that I'll be fixing. Don't scratch too deep on those. You just scratch the surface, so then when you go with your trowel, you don't feel that bump anymore. And that's enough. And in here, there's quite a bit of them. So I'm gonna set you guys up again. See, I gotta fix spots like that everywhere. So I'm gonna get back on here and I'll keep on going. About the way, guys, maybe I'll have a better way of filming in the future. Right now, I'm just starting this after multiple requests of people knowing the projects I do in that. Siding, roofing, brick on wall, change windows, doors, you know, you name it. I kind of like to try everything when I'm challenged to do so. So basically, I never go ahead and just do things. If I'm not familiar, if it's the first time, I will read on it, then I'll get on with the projects. So let me scrape all those little bump everywhere, and I'll get to you in a minute. Okay, so I've got 2 walls done. Put a bit of focus on that wall, then I'll move that and we can get around that corner also. This is quite heavy, full of books. You don't necessarily need to take it out there. I'll just move it around as I go. As you can see, I just go around with my hand, If I feel a little bump, little nip, could have been just dirt in the paint. When I built the house, maybe the painter, you know, his wall wasn't that clean in that. So I just scraped that. So what's gonna happen if you take the time? Seeing I'm almost done the room, like 5-10 minutes maybe at the max. Then I'm gonna go patch all those little cracks. Everything's gonna be flat. And whenever I do the paint, it's gonna look even better than when you bought the house or you built your house. And maybe, you know, I moved the camera quite a bit for that. I'm sorry about that. Just a one-man show. I've got people that I hire sometimes on bigger projects and that, but most of the time, I'm self-employed. I have a full-time job. I do this on the side, weekend, you know, just for fun, help friends, and just basically to challenge myself. So instead of sitting on the couch, which I do sometimes, you know, it never hurts, sit on the couch, have a little root beer, like to think. And when I feel like doing a little project, I always manage to find something to do. And I'm happy to see that you guys are going to be parts of my project from now on. You'll learn all kinds of things, and I'm sure I can learn from you guys with your feedback. Okay, so what we're going to do now, grab the mud, start patching some holes here and there. I'm going to try to follow you with the camera. You can actually see how I do it. It's going to be quick, very fast. Like I said, nothing major. It'll dip, and it's going to be fixed as a first coat. So after the first coat, feel with your hand, do a bit of sanding if required. If it doesn't look perfect, you think it could be better, you just have to go back, put a second coat on it. So it doesn't take time, so I'll do that. Then we'll start stripping the floor. But before, instead of getting all kinds of crap on your underlay, you vacuum before you start stripping your molding, baseboards, and the floor. It's fair to say you just use the easy fill. You can get that pretty much anywhere on the big projects. You end up getting a box of it. This is just a bucket from other jobs that I've been doing. Got them to go on at the moment, so I'm just gonna dip in there. I don't need much in here, and I'm gonna patch all those little holes. There you go. One done. Looks like I'm only gonna need one coat. Let's get to this wall now. There's quite a bit on that wall. I'm gonna try to patch all that up as much as I can with the first coat. Where I went around, I just take the lighter and I kind of walk around, look at the ceiling to see if there's anything I can patch on the ceiling just to make it look 100% when the project is done. Here I am again. See what I'm gonna do, since I went with really thin coat, I'm just gonna see if it's dry enough. Maybe I could put a second coat, even though maybe I only need one. Then I'll be done with it. I can just sand it and vacuum. I was going, I noticed a couple spots in the ceiling, so I'm just going to point you up there and I'll show you just fixing corners here and there. It was not done properly probably when they built the house. So this house since 2003, so let's look at that. I'm going to go in that corner. Probably see the corner is not 100%. Air bubbles in it. So I'm gonna fix that. Do the same thing on that corner. So we're gonna have a look at the other corner, see if that makes sense. Ceiling looks all right. Well, here I am again. So basically, patch the ceiling where I needed to, patch the wall, 40 minutes into it, and I'm ready to strip the molding. So just to show you, You don't really have to rush, but if you kind of know what you're doing, even if you're a beginner, I think if you follow my tips and that, you'll be just fine doing some projects at home. So basically I've been doing all kinds of projects, so kind of got used to it now. So let's take the moldings out, and then we're going to take the floor out. So the best way to take the moldings out without doing too much damage, it's one of these. You know, it's just like an L shape or a trowel. So I'll show you how to start with the trowel, and you'll see that's probably easier because it doesn't damage the baseboard or the wall. So let's try that. Just gonna clean it. So you just find yourself a side, in, then see how you open that gap, little bar in there, and without touching the wall, just pry on it and you can start pulling it out. Now if you're going to reuse the sandboard, which I will, I'm going to sand them and repaint them, and you have all these nails on it. So one good way to do that, you can use a pair of electrical snip like this. You're going to grab your nail, go up, see you pulled it out. Now if you look at the other end, you can't see where the nail was. So you're not gonna have a hole to patch. And it's very easy. This is MDF. Catch it, not too hard so you don't cut the nail, because these pliers are pretty sharp, and then you can pull all them out. So this is what I'll be doing with every baseboard, every nail. This room is pretty small, so I don't need to label like piece 1, piece 2. I know exactly where they're gonna go, right? Now that the baseboard is out, you want to remove these blocks also. So if the baseboard would have been there, you would have had to go there. Chances of doing some damage to your wall. Now that the baseboard is out, you can go on the side here. Same thing, you pull it up. And you can go with this. This is the same thing. You've got all the nails on it. The holes have already been patched. So with the pliers, go, just take them out. See, in this case, it's too hard. It's very thick. So you can just use this and you cut them. And voila, now it's flush. Before I repaint those, same thing that I did for the wall where there's a little nick. Little bumps, I have some filler. I'm gonna fill all those holes. So this is what you have, so I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna take all of them out around the room, and then I'll explain how I'm gonna begin taking the floor out. So here you have it, all the nails are out. So I'm gonna go put that to the shop, just to get them out of the way. Then I'm gonna clean the floor, vacuum, take all the nails out. Then we'll be ready to take the floor on. And then we'll see from when I started to when the floor is going to be out, we're ready to actually start doing a bit of sanding, ready for painting. Chances are by the time we start painting there, it's going to be an hour and a half into the project. So if you want to do, and you'll see, it's going to make a big difference. So if you want to do a project at home, totally change the room. Sometimes just a new coat, new floors, fresh paint on the doors, change color. Sky's the limit. So I'll just show you how to get it done fast, being efficient. So hold on with me. I'm gonna go bring that to my shop next door, and I'll be right back. So when I'm back, I'm gonna pick up all the nails. But before we do that, when I took the baseboard out, on the bottom plate, wherever there was like a 2x4, which would be your bottom place of your wall, the nails stayed into it. So we'll just go ahead, remove those before I clean up the floor. So you'll see it's basically the same deal as when you take it off the baseboard. So I'm going to show you one, very easy to get off. See the nail here? Some people put it in, which is a possibility, but if you want to take it out, it's the same scenario, right? Just go gentle and they come out, and see, it's about a 2-inch nail. Well, that's it for that. So we're going to start taking the nails off the floor, picking them up, then a bit of vacuuming, clean up the space, and strip the floor. Well, now we're into it. I'm just going to move that cabinet, start taking the floor out. Very easy to take out. Try to preserve it. It's good floor, and I'm going to donate it to somebody that needs it more than I do. Now the room is clean, I'm going to start with the floor. So it was put in starting from this side along that edge, so where it locks in, it's at that corner. So I'm going to start from that corner coming in. Very easy to take off without breaking. Trim out without breaking it. Somebody could use it. So again, I'm gonna grab this. Just trying to shake it. See some of the nails into it. The new one that I'm gonna put in is gonna be glued. Nails. So before somebody steps on that, I'm just going to do the same thing. Use the pliers, take them out. Same thing, cut it, and we take them out. A little too hard, so I did cut it. I'm going to try to pull it out. See, if you go gentle, you can pull them out. And I forgot one on the wall, so let's take that out. Well, there you have it. Floor's out, walls are patched, temporary light, trim is gone. So thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this DIY project. So what I'm gonna do, we're 12 minutes into the project. The room has been cleaned. Walls have been patched, floors out, moldings are out, it's clean. So, just to show you, it doesn't take that much time. You just kind of need to know where to start, steps to follow. Feel free to leave comments, and I seriously hope you're going to subscribe. Basically, this is part 1 of the projects. Shortly you'll see part 2, because I'm hoping to get this done within 20 hours. We're 12 minutes into it. I'm probably 35% into the project. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.